Hello. So in the previous video, we created a local Kubernetes cluster using kind with this configuration. Then we ran a pod on it using this manifest file, and then we exposed it with a node port type of service using this manifest file. So right now, all these values here are hard coded, right? This image name is hard coded, the image pull policy is hard coded, the port numbers, the node port numbers, the type, everything is hard coded. That's not what we want. If I want to run a slave node of Redis, then I'll have to come here and make changes to this pod.yaml, or I'll have to create a copy of this file and then use that and update it with the configuration for the slave node. And if I need to update the image, I'll have to update this file as well. And if I want to change the ports, I'll have to change the ports here as well. That's not what we want. That's not the correct way to do it. What we can do instead is use Helm charts. Okay, so Helm charts do that for us. They create the template for us, and we can provide it different values using a values.yaml file. And so we can create an empty a default boilerplate Helm chart using this command. And that's what we are trying here. We are Helmifying our application. So time run Helm create Redis chart. Okay, so what this will do is it will create a new directory for me called the Redis chart, and it will have the all the default boilerplate things. So in here we do not need the charts folder. It's used for external dependencies. Our application does not depend on any external chart. For example, something that could be an example is if you have a backend application and it's using a database, an in-memory database. All right. So we can have an external dependency on a Postgres chart here, and when we run our application, it will deploy the Postgres pod as well on the Kubernetes cluster. But that's not what we want here. All right. We do not have any external dependencies. So what I'll do is I'll delete this. And inside my template, I have a lot of things. I have tests, I have all these things that we do not need. Okay, I'll clean the templates folder. I do not need any of it. And in my chart, we do not need this as well. Just comments. I'll remove these. I'll keep it clean and lean, like so. And in my values dot, I'll empty it completely. All right. Okay, so back to the charts.yaml. API version is fine, description is fine, name is fine, type is fine, version is fine, and I'll give it a version of 1.0.0. App version of 1.0.0. So you should have some knowledge of Helm for this. Like, I'm not teaching Helm. This is not a Helm tutorial. Let me know if you want that, but I'm not an expert on Helm by any means. I'm using it. Right. So I can recommend other channels to to study Helm and Kubernetes from. I'm just using these technologies here. So if you have some knowledge, you can watch these videos and deploy your application as well. But let's move forward. Now come to the values.yaml file. Now before we go to the values.yaml file, I have this pod.yaml and this service.yaml, and they are outside the templates directory. So let's just move it to the templates directory and my service.yaml. So what do we have hard coded? We have image hard coded. We don't want that. All right. So we will use the Helm syntax to templateify, Helmify this chart, and that looks something like so. Values.image.repo, and I'll give it a tag of .values.image.tag. All right. So I have to create these in my values.yaml. So it's image.repo and image.tag. So image repo, and this can be paste, Control X, and tag, like so. All right. Other thing we can templateify is this image pull policy. Right now it's hard coded to be never. Values dot uh, image dot pull policy. So values dot image dot pull policy, and it will be equal to this. Alright, so back to the values.yaml file. Yeah, this pull policy is fine. Now these things will be read from my values.yaml file and only then applied. Alright. Is there some syntax error? Why are these blue and this not? Let me check. Huh. For.yaml. No, it seems fine. This is the syntax for it, and now these things are no longer hard-coded. This can be provided through a values.yaml file. We can use the values.yaml file that we have locally, or we can provide a different folder for it, or we can create multiple values.yaml file, one for master and one for slave, and we can use those YAML files to run multiple pods and multiple services. All right. Now back to this service. I need to helmify this as well. So I'll call it dot values dot service dot port. Okay, and same here, dot port, and this will be node port, and this will be type. Okay, so we have service.port. Service port is going to be, we copied it right now. It's 6379 basically. 6379, and we have node port. It's 30007, and we have type, and it's node port. All right. And that's it. Our application is Helmified, and we have created templates for it. This should be fine. What we can do now is we can check if our work is fine. We can do that with help commands. We can see the final version of the YAML files that will be applied by using this command. So this will read the values from values.yaml and apply it to our templates, and then show the templates to us. So this is what the templates look like. Service, everything is fine. Yeah, everything is fine. And this will also be the order in which they will be applied, so Helm can understand the order required. We do not need to give it a hook weight. We can give it a hook weight, but that's not required. So a hook weight creates sort of a sorting order for our manifest files, and Helm can do a topological ordering of those manifest files and apply them as required. We do not need that for this simple application. Maybe we'll add it later when we'll have multiple masters, multiple nodes, master and slave. So our master needs to be applied before our slave. So we can do that later. All right. So our Helm template is fine. We can check if we have any errors in our application in our template using this Helm lint command. Redis chart. So Helm chart, one chart linted, 0 charts failed. All right. So our chart is fine. We can now deploy this application on our cluster simply using the Helm install command. Redis app and using the Redis chart. With this, I should be able to see our pods running and our service. Okay, so it's now redirecting the traffic from port 3007 to 6379 inside our port. Alright, we can check if it's working fine with this. This is from the previous video. Anyways, clear. Yeah, I can run this and it will send the ping command but not work. Why? Oh, it did work but I didn't read. So let's just read and see the output. So the pod responded with a pong and I can now close the connection as well. Alright. So we were successfully able to deploy our application using a Helm chart. And what I plan to do next is, let's just first see the chart, right? So we have this Helm chart, but it's right now in the same repository. What I'm thinking is when I push code changes, it will run the build pipeline for us. And I want that build pipeline to update this tag. All right, here. But that will require an additional commit and that will trigger the CI pipeline again, and then that will update this tag again, and that will trigger the CI pipeline again. So it will be an infinite loop. That's why all this infrastructure related thing should be in a different repo. So right now I'm committing into the same repo, but in the next video I'll move it to the another repo, and then I will change this CI pipeline that we have to update. So what I'll do is basically move this directory or to a different Git repo. And another task here, I will clone that repo. I'll update the values.yaml file and then I will push it to GitHub or Azure DevOps. And then we will have set up Argo CD to pull those images, pull those manifest files, and deploy to Kubernetes automatically. So we wouldn't even need to be required to use these commands, Helm install at all. We'll be using Argo CD, and Argo CD will do that automatically for us. So all we would need to do is do a git push. That will trigger the CI pipeline. The CI pipeline will update this Helm chart, and our Argo CD will pull the Helm chart and deploy the application. So a complete CI/CD workflow. So look forward to that in the next video. And that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.